A young man of 21 proposes a ridiculous idea to his professors at Stanford. An app where photos disappear after a few seconds. No saving, no archive, no control. Everyone laughs as people want to keep their memories, not erase them. No one would want that. This young man's name is Evan Spiegel. Despite this, Snapchat boomed 2 years later, captivating teenagers who sent snaps by the billions. And in Silicon Valley, a rumor is going around. Facebook is preparing an acquisition offer, and it's massive. $3 billion. Cash. For any young founder of 23, that's the jackpot. But what no one knows yet at that moment is that the name Evan Spiegel is about to say will become one of the biggest bets in the entire history of tech business. So, why did Evan, unlike WhatsApp, refuse Zuckerberg's money? How is this simple refusal going to trigger years of copying, betrayal, and a relentless technological race? And above all, how did Snapchat, after inventing half of the features of modern social networks, reach 460 million users, and yet still not know how to make money? High team mindset, I hope you're doing well. Today, following your requests, we're going to break down together one of the most fascinating and most frustrating stories in modern tech. Between stolen innovation, missed billions, a headlong rush into augmented reality, and a desperate fight against TikTok, it's a pure economic thriller. And as usual, we'll finish with the sharpest business lessons to take away from this silent descent into hell. Let's go. Here we go. Evan Spiegel and Bobby Murphy are seeking a project for an entrepreneurship class, working on an unconventional concept. Photos you send that vanish after seconds. Something completely unlike Facebook and Instagram, where all content remains online permanently. Nobody around them believes it. Teachers look at them oddly and other students laugh. And investors immediately put the idea in the category of an app for sending nudes. But they hold on. Gen Z feels a strong desire to share without stress, perfect images, or constant social judgment. He believes in something that no social network offers yet. Real life isn't perfect. He launches Peekaboo, an early version of the app based on ephemeral photos. The name comes from the children's game Peekaboo. It's like peekaboo, I see you, then I disappear. The idea is there, but the launch is a total flop. There was confusion around the name, with some thinking it was a photo printing app. However, Evan Spiegel and Bobby Murphy persevered. He pivots, simplifies, and rebrands. And in September 2011, he relaunched the app under a new name. Much simpler, much more viral. Snapchat was born. And then it just exploded. It's becoming a new language among teens. We don't post perfect photos to impress anymore. We send each other funny faces, pictures of our meals, our homework, our nights out. Deep down, we know it will vanish. This is precisely why we dare to do anything. Snapchat liberates users from social pressure by eliminating likes, comments, and judgment. In 2013, the growth became insane. Hundreds of millions of snaps were sent every day. Young people are always on it. In 2013, Spiegel released Stories, an innovation that would redefine the entire market. And as I say this, I realize just how much of a revolution it was. It became part of our daily lives on all social networks, and even on soccer apps like Eurosport, which I use daily. Visible to friends for 24 hours, public but temporary. I was a young adult at the time, and I remember how cool it was to know that everything would disappear. Fast forward to 2025. Everyone copied them. Facebook, YouTube, Insta. The problem started there, but we'll return to that later. Back in 2016, streaks arrive. You have to send a snap to your friend every day to keep the flame going. Snapchat's diabolical mechanic creates genuine social addiction, becoming a religion among 13-24-year-olds. By 2016, the app exceeds 200 million active users, captivating everyone. Personalized emojis arrive. Augmented reality filters with dog or cat ears explode in popularity, and Bitmoji invade chats. Snap Maps let you see where your friends are in real time. More innovations that are massively copied elsewhere. Snapchat is no longer just a social network, it's a complete ecosystem. But in the shadows, another battle is brewing, a much more dangerous battle, one where innovation is no longer enough, one where cash talks. That's where the story's first dramatic turning point will occur. phone rings, it's Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg personally offers to meet Evan Spiegel, presenting an undeniable proposition. $3 billion in cash to buy Snapchat, right now, no negotiation. For a 23-year-old student, that's an unimaginable amount of money. By the way, I think for many of us who are older, it's still unimaginable. He could be a billionaire at 23, living comfortably for the rest of his life. But unlike the founders of WhatsApp who said yes to Facebook, as I recently told you in a video, Evan Spiegel says no. Why? Because he believes in his model. Because he thinks Snapchat can become as big as Facebook. He refuses to get swallowed up like many before him. This refusal is among the biggest no's in tech history. However, Zuckerberg dislikes being rejected, leading to what could be described as systematic exploitation. In 2016, Instagram, owned by Facebook, launched Stories, copied almost identically from Snapchat without any mercy. Suck. I remember thinking at the time that it was over, for Snap. I left the app as most of my contacts were on Insta. The air filters are coming. On Instagram, WhatsApp also adds its statuses. Messenger tries several Snapchat clones like Slingshot and Pak, all inspired by the Snap model. Facebook copies everything, absolutely everything. And the worst part is, it works. While Snapchat keeps growing, Facebook monetizes Snapchat's ideas better than Snapchat itself. Meta, the teams, the data, the advertisers, and above all, the feed. Instagram turns stories into cash machines, while Snapchat remains locked in its closed ecosystem. In 2020, Meta's domination is complete. Zuckerberg won not by creating, but by copying and suffocating. And while Meta quietly surpasses $1.2 trillion in market capitalization and earns nearly $40 billion in net profits each year, Snap is still struggling to survive. With barely $16 billion in valuation. Since going public, they have already swallowed more than $8 billion in cumulative losses. And even last year, with more than $5 billion in revenue, they still lost nearly $700 million more. The day Evan Spiegel said no to $3 billion might also be the day he sealed his fate. No historic deal or merger, just a long fight against a monster that stole everything from him. Snap goes public. The stock soars to $17 right away, at the opening. Valuation, $24 billion. The media claims Snapchat is the Facebook for teens, indicating Evan Spiegel's success on paper at that moment. He owns about 18 to 20% of Snap's capital, with his share worth between $4 to $5 billion in stocks at that moment. But behind the spotlight, a major problem appears right away. A structural problem, one that will haunt Snap for the next 8 years. Snapchat doesn't make money, ever. Losses continue to accumulate each quarter. Hundreds of millions of dollars go up in smoke, even when revenue increases. In 2024, for example, Snap generates $5.36 billion in revenue, but ends the year with $698 million in net losses. In over 10 years of existence, Snap has only been profitable for 2 quarters. How is that possible? With 460 million daily users? The answer comes down to 3 points. First, Snap's audience, primarily teenagers, doesn't generate revenue as they lack credit cards. They spend time creating snaps, but don't click ads or make purchases. The average revenue per user remains dramatically low, unlike its competitors. The second point is the Snap format, which is anti-ad. On TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, you scroll and consume long content. On Snap, it's the opposite. Open it, Snap friends, close it, done in seconds. No infinite feed or addictive scrolling, resulting in significantly less ad space. Also, costs are soaring. To stay ahead, Snap is investing heavily in its servers, its artificial intelligence, and its augmented reality teams. Each innovation is spectacular but very costly. And without stable cash flow, every new feature becomes a risky gamble. The result is that Snap becomes the perfect example of a company that's extremely popular, widely used, and yet unable to build a profitable business model. At that point, the market loses patience, the stock turns volatile, and investors start to doubt. Yet Evan Spiegel is attempting another technological gamble and leap forward. In front of Snap's headquarters, a strange yellow vending machine appears. inside spectacles, connected glasses that record what you see. Snapchat's visionary idea is to become the camera of the future. But quickly the verdict arrives. Commercial disaster, 40 million in unsold glasses stockpiled, then destroyed. For any normal company, this would be a major setback. But for Evan, it's just the beginning. Snap doubles down, even triples down. They release several new versions, add global positioning system location, a compass, spatial vision, and integrate increasingly advanced augmented reality features. In 2025, the new devices are rented to developers for $90 per month, but there's no mainstream market yet. No one wants to wear glasses for Snap, not yet, maybe never. Simultaneously, Snap is working on another project, artificial intelligence. In 2023, they launched My Artificial Intelligence, an integrated chatbot powered by Open Artificial Intelligence, an artificial intelligence that chats with users directly in their chat. Young people love it, but there are many uses and little revenue. Snap is also experimenting with artificial intelligence selfies with dreams, automatically generated lenses, artificial intelligence, created 3D Bitmoji, and paid selfie packs with virtual costumes. Technically impressive, but still commercially fragile, the truth is simple. Snapchat has become a unique innovation lab in the world. But innovation alone doesn't pay the bills. Meta, meanwhile, can afford to invest $60 billion in augmented reality. Snap is investing all its cash flow into its ventures. With every new announcement, the question comes up again. Snap is inventing, yes, but will Snap ever make money? And that's when Evan makes his last real strategic move, a radical shift to save his business model. In Snap's offices, the investors are angry. We're only losing money with your app. Evan Spiegel tries something that almost no other free social network had dared to do at this level, charging users directly. This is the birth of Snapchat Plus. For $5 a month, subscribers unlock exclusive features, custom icons, advanced stats on their stories, premium badge, reserved filters, and priority artificial intelligence. It's uncertain whether young people will pay, making it a gamble. And yet, it's taking off. Subscribers, 5 million by end of 2022, 10 million by end of 2023, over 15 million by early 2025. Snapchat is introducing its first recurring revenue stream. Meanwhile, losses are shrinking, cash flow is becoming positive, and margins are rising each quarter. Finally, after 10 years of struggle, Snapchat is starting to look like a real company. But because there's always a but. At Snapchat, Snapchat Plus brings in about $350 million a year. Compared to 2024's losses of nearly $700 million, it's insignificant. Meanwhile, TikTok keeps siphoning off young people's attention, Instagram Reels is gaining ground, and YouTube Shorts is gaining momentum. And in April 2025, even though Snap announces rather encouraging results, the stock still drops by 12% in a single day. Why? Because the market no longer believes in miracles. It wants proof, not promises. And yet one last wildcard could change everything, or a potential ban of TikTok in the United States. If TikTok goes down, Snapchat can finally regain attention, regain advertisers, regain growth. But this will be the last window of opportunity. If it misses, there won't be another chance. You open Snapchat, you send a snap, a selfie, an artificial intelligence filter, and you close the app in a few seconds. That's the absolute paradox of Snapchat. An app that redefined the digital language of a generation, that invented stories, air filters, streaks, and Bitmojis, which was copied by everyone, which resisted Zuckerberg, but which, despite its 460 million daily users, still can't build a sustainable business model. Snap had it all except the crucial element, attention span. On TikTok, people stay 69 minutes a day. On Snapchat, barely 7 minutes. And in the digital economy, business doesn't follow the number of users. It follows the time they spend with you. And as usual, I know that many of you are waiting for them now. Here are the 3 business mindset lessons we can take from this video. The first lesson is that innovating differs from monetizing. Snapchat invented everything, but Facebook monetized it all. Being first is not enough. It's the one who turns usage into cash who wins the war. The second lesson is that users are different from customers. Snapchat has millions of teenagers it loves, but very few of them pay or click on ads. A solid business always relies on people who give money, not just free attention. And the third and final lesson is that being ahead is different from being ready. Snapchat invested early in augmented reality spectacles and artificial intelligence, but each attempt was premature, costly, and fragile. The right timing is when innovation meets a ready market. That's actually Apple's strategy, which we'll analyze soon. And do you think Snapchat can still make a comeback? Or are they already doomed to become the Microsoft network of Gen Z? Would you have turned down $3 billion in cash at 23 years old in front of Zuckerberg? Or would you have done like the founders of WhatsApp, who had strong principles before being offered $19 billion by Facebook? This led them far from their initial ideology, as evident in the video being shown.